Hi, my name is Lodi Nauta and this is our best practice.
Hello, I'm Pauline Kleingeld and this is our best practice.
In our field, it is vitally important to understand the technical language of your discipline, especially in philosophy. Philosophers often use technical, difficult language. Immanuel Kant, for instance, speaks about a categorical imperative. Spinoza about substance and attributes, and Nietzsche about the Übermensch. What do they mean? Our best practice is to teach students the meaning of this technical language and also the philosophical significance of these past philosophical theories. This is far from easy, for these philosophers lived in different times and culture. So in order to understand Kant, for instance, you need to know a little bit about the Enlightenment. In order to understand the political philosophy of Thomas Hobbes, you need to know a little bit about the Civil War in 17th century England. But we study these texts not as mere historical texts, but as texts that still raises issue that occupies today. What is good life? What is a just society? Do we have free will? What is truth? So our best practice is to teach students the meaning of language that philosophers use and thereby to connect past with the present.
This is a best practice because students need to learn how to let historical texts speak to present philosophical concerns without treating their authors as our contemporaries. Lodi already explained that contextual historical knowledge is very important for understanding alien-sounding terminology. But it's also important for deceptively familiar-sounding terms. For example, seemingly inclusive language, such as human beings or Menschen in German classic texts, may mask sexist or racist assumptions that reveal themselves only elsewhere in the philosopher's text. Using classic texts for current philosophical purposes then requires hard work. You have to reveal the hidden assumptions, reconstruct the work they do in the theory, and rethink the theory. Similarly, when racism or sexism lies at the surface, you can't just update the theory with inclusive language. That would misrepresent these authors' views and it would make it harder to see how these sexist or racist views have influenced their wider theory. A last lesson from our practice is that slow teaching is just as important as slow science.
Whichever field you study, you need to understand the technical language of your discipline and be able to translate it into common language. If you can do that, you are on top of the subject. This sounds trivial, but it isn't. For once you've learned the jargon of your field, you stop asking what it really means. Next, language is not a neutral medium. It can shape our thinking. From the social sciences, we learn how important frames and metaphors are by which people interpret the world. Darwin's survival of the fittest shapes the way we see nature. So it's good advice to become sensitive to the language of your field.